Arkansas. All sports. It's more sports.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. I am Wes Moore. Coming up tonight, we're going to talk some high school football. Conference play begins this week, and we're going to take a look at the high school football rankings in all classifications. We're also going to talk some Razorback football, of course. And tonight, joining us, Rawleigh Williams III, the former Razorback running back. What's up, Rawleigh? How are you?
Good, Wes. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let me start. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of projects going on, but I got to ask you about the Razorbacks because it's been a tough 2 weeks. What have you seen out of this team?
Man, I've seen a football team with a lot of talent, offensively and defensively. But the difference between winning and losing football games is attention to details and fumbling the ball, throwing interceptions, not wrapping up. In crucial moments. I think that's the difference between being a undefeated football team and having a couple losses. But I'm hoping they can turn it around with it being so early in the season.
Now, you know better than anybody. A game doesn't come down to one play, a fumble here. There are a lot of plays in the game. What do you see defensively? Because the Memphis game, the defensive effort came into question. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, again, I think it's just the attention to details. When you look up and you see a ton of missed tackles throughout the game, a couple blown coverages. It's not that the talent's not there. It's just the guys have to lock in on crucial moments. It's not a play or two that loses a game, but it feels like that sometimes when you see some of the blatant errors.
Well, what is it a running back needs to know end of a game, or any player with the ball in their hands at the end of a game to take care of the ball? What was pounded into your head while you were growing up and playing in college?
What was pounded in my head was ball security is job security, and it's easier said than done. Listen, I think Mike is a great running back. I think he's, extremely talented and one of the best in the country, in my opinion. But again, it's attention to detail. You got to hold on to the football, and those plays that come into question when you look up on your record might look a little differently if you're able to hold on to the football.
It's hard to be critical because I know what he was doing. I mean, he's fighting for every single yard he can get. If anything, it's almost like they're trying too hard.
It is. Guys want to score. Guys want to get first downs, and especially, when you're as talented as he is, you're always thinking, I'm the best person on the field. Let me go and make a play. But I think that's one that obviously he wishes he could take back.
You've been in locker rooms after losses. How does a team, what needs to be said, whether it's the coaches or the players, probably best coming from players, to bounce back and be ready for Notre Dame this week?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it sucks after a loss like that, just to be honest with you. The best thing is you have to play with pride, not just for, yourself, but your family and the school and the state. I mean, listen, guys want to win, regardless of the transfer portal and everything else you hear. From everything I hear about that team, they're very close-knit. They rely on each other. And so I think this is a week where you have to lean on guys and say that I have to win for the person beside me.
I do a radio show also on 103.7 The Buzz, and it comes up from fans, and they say it, because of the portal, because the players getting paid, they don't care about winning anymore. You've got an ear. You're inside locker rooms. You're representing players. Do you buy that?
No, I don't buy it. I think that when guys say that about the portal and the NIL and things like that, listen, there are guys who I played with, or I played against that weren't as motivated as others, and we weren't getting paid anything. I think that when it comes down to it, guys love the game that they play. That's why they're as good as they are. That's why they put the hours in that they do. So I don't buy that for a second. I think it's just, it's times like this where you have to lean in on your love for the game and your love for your teammates.
Yeah, Coach Pittman said Monday in his press conference that, look, losing sucks. The fans hurt, the coaches hurt, but nobody hurts more than the players right now. And I believe that. I still believe. And they're competitors. You want to win. Nobody wants to lose.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're putting your body on the line every time you're out there. It's only for the love of the game most times that you continue to push through that, especially when you're losing. So these guys aren't about to give up. This is a big opportunity for them this week, and I think they're going to go out and play their hardest.
Nobody knows that better than you.
Sure.
I mean, you did. You put your body on the line out there. How are you doing?
Really well, man. I'm blessed. I'm in a great situation. I have a great career. Have a great business with my wife. Have a child on the way. So I'm looking forward to life every single day right now.
And I got to ask, how's your family? Because your family was so close to Razorback Nation, and after the tragedy with your brother.
Man, it's a day at a time. I'm very blessed to be a part of such a close knit family. One thing that we say about my brother all the time, as much as we miss him, I'm very thankful that he knew how much we loved him every day. It's never a situation where we look back and we say we wish we could have told him. Literally, my last message to him was how much I love him that morning. So, it's a day at a time. But we're definitely leaning on each other right now.
I appreciate you sharing that with us because it's a great lesson for
For sure.
all of us to, to let your loved ones know exactly
For
what you
sure.
think. Uh, Raleigh, you're a busy man these days. I know you're an agent. You still representing
Yeah, so I've
clients?
actually transitioned from the agent side to the business management side. So with the addition of the portal and with the addition of some of the business things I've done outside of, being the sports representation, a lot of my clients were looking at me like, listen, we love the contract stuff, but we want you to build businesses with us the same way that you're doing for yourself. And so I have a close friend of mine who, I've known since literally middle school, and he represents a lot of the top players in the NFL right now. And so we've recently joined forces on the business management side, basically handling everything off the field and off the court for these guys now in terms of business development, marketing, PR, concierge service. I mean, we're creating a ton of positive revenue streams for these guys right now, which has been awesome.
Are there some names that you're working with that we're
For sure.
familiar
Pat
with?
Surtain, who was the defensive player of the year last year. Obviously, he's a big name. Nick Benito, Cortland Sutton, Cam Curl, still a close client and close friend of mine. Rocket Sanders is a client of ours that, obviously is a Arkansas guy. Jason Terry, NBA champion. He's a coach for the Utah Jazz right now. We just signed him a couple weeks ago. So we're really doing something special on this side of the business.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations. How is Cam? We got a lot of Razorback fans watching. How's Cam Curl and Rocket
Man,
Sanders
both of
doing?
those guys are doing awesome. I just talked to Cam yesterday morning. I'm going up to see him next week in LA. He's feeling great. He's playing really good football right now. He's a part of a really good football team. And same thing with Rocket, man. This guy's been through it all. Very similar to me in terms of, his body's been beat up a little bit. But I mean, when I see a great human being who's put his head down and worked, so to see him score, the first touchdown of the season for the Browns this year, I mean, nobody was more deserving than him for that. So I'm proud of him.
That's awesome. Rawleigh Williams with us. Now, you also have a new espresso martini drink that's hitting the store shelves in Arkansas. Tell everybody about
For
that.
sure. So my wife and I started Sip Torna Espresso Martini, which stands for Sip to Reach New Energy. We started it about a year and a half ago now, almost 2 years now. And we've launched really statewide across Texas. And with the Arkansas ties that we have, we found a great distribution company in Central to partner with. And we've literally been going liquor store to liquor store from Little Rock to Northwest Arkansas all week. We're looking to be in about 40 to 50 locations by the end of the week. So it's been a blessing. It's a great product. It's real espresso, real vodka. 10%. I mean, it's an awesome product, and we've had nothing but positive reviews since we've been here.
All right. Tell us the name
Sip
again.
Torna. So SIPTORNE.
And it stands
Sip to Reach New
for
Energy.
Sip to Reach New Energy. I
Yes,
love
sir.
that. And okay, you're biased. I know, but how's it
That's
taste?
amazing. I mean, listen, you don't have to ask me. Go to your local liquor store and ask, the person that runs that store, and they'll tell you the same thing.
And it's here. We can find
Yes.
it in Little Rock and
Yeah, Little Rock, Springdale, Arkansas, Fayetteville, Bentonville, all the surrounding cities, we're everywhere. And we definitely will be by the end of this week.
how did this happen? How does Rawleigh Williams into an espresso martini drink?
Long story short, man, my wife is a picky eater and I'm a picky drinker. So I grew up hating coffee. My mom says when she was pregnant with me, she couldn't walk down the coffee aisle. She would get nauseous. So when me and Lexi started to date, I would always have her try my foods. And one night she's like, you have to try my espresso martini. And I tried it. And long story short, I didn't hate it. I actually kind of liked it. And so when I was in town on Fridays, just because of my schedule, we try to make Friday night a date night. And we'd always end our Friday nights with espresso martinis. And so we're sitting outside one night and she's like, let's start a business together. And I'm like, I think this is a great idea. And so we kind of spitballed ideas for probably about 3 or 4 months. And she comes out and she's like, what about an espresso martini in a can? And long story short, man, we kind of mapped it out. We thought about, how convenient it would be for tailgates, for weddings, for bars, for, people who want convenience, but also a true espresso martini that's, health conscious, that's, not a wine cocktail, but true to form. So we're really proud of what we've done.
Did it take a while to get the right taste, the right mix?
Man, we have a shrine basically in our refrigerator at home of all the iterations that we went through. And there's probably about 20 different bottles in there of the start to where we got to today.
Who decided? Who was like, this is the one?
Man, it was me, it was my wife, her family, my brother, my parents. I mean, we had about a group of literally like 15 to 20 people who we all needed approval from in terms of the smell, the taste, the color, the mouthfeel, everything from A to Z. And like I said, man, we're excited about what it came out to be.
Oh, well, you sold me. I am headed out to try to find one of these espresso
For
martinis. And
sure, for sure. And we'll
I
be
like,
announcing on socials all week, all the locations and a lot of different things, tastings that we'll do in X, Y, and Z.
well, I follow you on Twitter. Do you have your own social media page for this?
Yeah, so on Instagram, we're Sip Torna, at SIP TORNE. And then you can also find us at siptornerdrinks.com.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. All right, what's the plan for this weekend?
Man, if the Lord says the same, we'll go to the game this weekend. But it's just taking it a day at a time and making sure that our schedules make sense. But I would love to see the Razorbacks win this Saturday.
How do you feel about Notre Dame coming in?
I mean, they're a good football team. I think that they're disciplined. I think that they, have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. But I do love that this game is in Fayetteville, and I think that we have something to prove on this side. So I expect a really good football game.
No, you know better than anybody. You can have a special environment in Fayetteville for some of these
Yeah,
home games. What was your favorite home game?
man. That Ole Miss game, I think where Santos knocked the ball out at the end of the game. That was the most loud stadium I think I've ever been in. And we played obviously at Cowboy Stadium. We played at Tennessee my freshman year, but my brother played at A&M. But that moment, I literally felt the stadium shake.
Yeah. Hopefully you get that kind of environment. It is a morning game, Saturday morning, 11 o'clock kickoff, but it's supposed to be packed and the weather's going to be awesome. So
Exactly.
hopefully it's one of those special moments. I think it's a
Yeah,
high
man.
scoring game.
I agree. I think you should all get sips to pregame with at the tailgates and be as rowdy as you can in those stadiums.
What a plan. He just nailed it for us. Rawleigh, thank you, man. Congratulations on everything and best of luck with the new espresso martini.
I
We
appreciate you, Wes.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care. We'll talk soon. It's
Yes,
Rawleigh
sir.
Williams joining us on More Sports. That was a lot of fun. Let's talk a little high school football now. With the conference play beginning this week, most everybody has played 3 weeks, and I want to take a look at the high school football rankings for this week as we get into conference play. Let me share the screen for you, and we'll take a look at the rankings over on Fearless Friday. This is the media's poll, the Arkansas media. We'll start in 7A. Bryan, of course, still number 1. Bentonville, number 2. Fayetteville, number 3. Rogers, then Conway at number 5. And look, no other team is receiving votes. And this could change this week because you've got some nice matchups in Northwest Arkansas with Fayetteville playing at Bentonville West and Bentonville going to Springdale Harbor. Both of those teams have showed in the non-conference that they got a pretty good team. So I think we'll have to keep an eye on these ratings and those 2 games in particular in the 7A West. Down in 6A, you got Greenwood, number 1. Benton moves up to number 2 after their impressive victory over Parkview. They jump over Shiloh. Mountain Homes, number 4. Southside, number 5, also getting votes. Marion, Sylvan Hills at 3-0, El Dorado, and Jonesboro. And, of course, the game of the week in 6A, no doubt about it. Number 1, Greenwood. Number 3, Shiloh Christian. The game being played at Greenwood. And, if Shiloh Christian pulls off the upset, it's so hard to win in Greenwood for an opponent. But if Shiloh gets that victory, we'll have a new number 1 team next week in 6A. Class 5A now. Joe T. Robinson takes over the number 1 spot after Parkview loses back-to-back games. Parkview fell to Benton last week. The week before that, it was Bryant. So Parkview losing to larger classification schools, but moving down in the rankings. Joe T. number 1, Morrilton number 2. Parkview is there at 3. Lakeside with that 1 loss to Joe T. Robinson. And Farmington number 5, just on the outside. Greenbrier and Searcy. And another good game in 5A, Greenbrier Morrilton. That's number 2. Morrilton in this poll, 6 Greenbrier. That very well could decide the 5A West when it's all said and done. Moving down to 4A, Arkadelphia number 1. Mills moves up a spot to number 2. You got Dardanelle at number 3. Batesville, Southside Batesville, or just Southside. I know, Southerners, it's just Southside. They are number 4. Just keep on moving up, but they're going to be tested once conference play begins. Elkins at number 5. You also got Warren, Gosnell, and Stuttgart receiving votes, but I think, in my opinion, those are the 5 best teams. And I am looking forward to that Dardanelle-Clinton game in a couple of weeks. But I don't have I'd probably put Dardanelle number 2, Mills number 3, just because of Mills is a younger team, but you know what? They've been taking care of business. And my knock on Mills was they were getting off to slow starts. Well, Last week, Blytheville, they didn't get off to a slow start. So good job, Comets. Number 3, or in 3A, got Salem number 1, Fordyce number 2. No change here, really. Charleston 3, Mansfield 4, Smackover. They had their big win over Junction City earlier. They are number 5. Boonville, Mayflower, Newport, Bismarck, Rivercrest, Palestine, Wheatley receiving votes in 3A. In 2A, you got EPC number 1 now. Junction City is number 2. Carlisle 3. Carlisle had the big win over Des Arc last week. So they are number 3. Des Arc falls to a tie with Mount Ida, Cross County. Pretty good. I would say Junction City, EPC, or Carlisle. Throw them up in a hat, pick one out. That would be my number 1 team. They're all very equal. And I don't have a big problem with the way they're ranked at 1, 2, 3. I think they're that close. Overall, any changes to speak of? Top 6 are still the same. Bryant, Bentonville, Fayetteville, Greenwood, Rogers, and Conway. You got Joe T. Robinson moving up to number 7 overall. Benton is at number 8. Shiloh Christian at 9. Shiloh had the huge win over the weekend. And Bentonville West, talked about that Bentonville West. The Wolverines a little earlier. They're coming in at number 10 right now. This week's going to be a ton of fun with the start of conference play. And we will talk about conference play coming up next week on More Sports. We got a big show lined up for you tomorrow. Of course, Friday, we'll talk a little preview. Thomas Thrash will join me to preview all the high school football games and some of the big Hootens Arkansas football games of the week. So we'll do that for Friday. And, of course, Saturday, a little post-game Razorback show live from Reynolds Razorback Stadium, or just outside of Reynolds Razorback Stadium. So it's going to be a big week. Keep watching, hanging out with us, and remember, be back here tomorrow for More Sports.
All Arkansas, all sports. It's More Sports.